have been making the headlines a little bit, or the conversations.
A little bit, right?
Yeah. I would like to address that, and then we have a guest that we're going to bring on and have a conversation, which is what I was looking for last week. I wrote a post that said, and everybody knows. Oh, by the way, let me start off by saying we're here for the people that are interested in what I have to say. If you don't, and all you have is hate and disgust, and you're here to throw insults and be a troll, we're not really here for you. I haven't blocked probably 10 people since I've been on X, but you know what? In your world, in your bubble, if I'm the devil for the crime of not agreeing with you, I believe is the crime, not agreeing with you, having a different opinion. That's how I feel. If it is for a different reason, then I hope to find out on this episode with Mr. Mike Hollow, who we'll bring on in a few minutes, because I saw him on his podcast, and I believe he shares a lot of views with the majority of the people. For me, I got to be honest, at this point, if it's about not having a popular opinion, like, I will stand on that. I've packed a lunch. I can't live in a world where it's a crime to not have the same opinion as somebody else. A few months ago, posted a picture of me hanging out with a good friend, Mr. Hulk Hogan. And of course, there's the usual comments, and some of them are mad at me. Rob, what? I thought you were cool, man. Don't you know he ain't? No, Rob, that ain't it. All that stuff. And we talked about that. Like, I don't have to hate the same people that you hate. I won't be bullied into hating what you hate. And is that the crime? Because what have I done? Am I defending this guy, Raja, in the court of law? Fuck no. Am I going over to his house and funding his fucking lifestyle or his court costs? Fuck no. All I said and did was said, what was the prefix I put? Not for now, but so far. So far, I got his back. I'm looking forward to talking about it on my podcast. That was the post. And what that meant to me is I wanted to speak from his position, what I saw him go through for that conversation. And I did. I had his back for so far. Not all the way. Did what he do? Was that fucking over the top? Fuck yeah. Was it too much? For who? Not for him if he wanted to kill somebody. But that's not the conversation. The conversation is the words I put. Maybe some people interpreted them different. If so, then that's what I call basic thinking. So thank you for showing me the clip of Stevie Richards and the bloke James, because I looked at that, and so Stevie starts out saying that post leaves some interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You want me to play that clip?
Sure.
Okay, so here it is.
Let's do
this is the beginning of their clip that they did on Rob, and the title of it was "RBD is so wrong" or something like that effect. Here it is.
Like, is that something to like promote his podcast and say, listen to what I have to say? But so far, I got Rogers back with no explanation in the tweet. And then when he did it, I watched maybe about 10 minutes of it. I wasn't quite sure outside of the basic thinker thing. I mean, I'm thinking about it pretty basically. Like Chael Sonnen says, it's an overcomplicated issue, which is kind of, connected to this way of thinking. And I'm thinking, it's pretty basic. It's not complicated to me. And there's this weird, like I said, this weird Stockholm syndrome in the professional wrestling world to do that. Is Rob friends with Rikishi? Is this a way to protect Rikishi as well? Because we have Mark Henry talking about this as well. I don't know. And I asked the question once again. When I'm looking at Rob or listening to Rob, watching him for 10 minutes, or even the Chael Sonnen video or the Mark Henry, and I'm like, what am I missing? What am I getting wrong here? I watched the same video they did. As a matter of fact, we watched some of the live stream before and after. We watched the thing during the day. I think we have complete context on what happened. So what's missing here? Please let us know. I don't know.
All right, Rob. That's
So first off, what is RVD wrong about? Because if you don't know, if you haven't got taught in school, there's a difference between facts and opinions. And when it comes to opinions, nobody's wrong. And is that what we're talking about here? Is that what everyone is up in arms about, an opinion? Hopefully not. But that's what I question. I feel like it is. I don't have the same opinion. And the thing is, you say she's hot, I say she's not. Guess what? We're both right. We're both wrong. That's how opinions are. They're subjective. Facts are like, boom. You know what? There was 21 punches. I don't know how many they were, but I do know that I was wrong last week. I feel like I was wrong. I'm not standing behind the number that I said of 16. It looked like several of them were grazes, but like I was like, why is nobody else seeing that fact that I did? Not the opinion, but the fact. Why is no one else saying, yeah, I saw that many? And so I looked at it really hard, and I can't tell. So I'm definitely not standing by, and coming up front to say that I will retract me saying that there was only 16. But everything you read is a range.
Right. It was a lot. It was a lot of.
Yeah, it's a lot. So yeah. But so here's the thing. I don't know if we need to play James talking about the basic thinkers, but
I was going to play that in a little bit. But if you want to elaborate on anything of regards.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. So far, Stevie has said, "What are we missing?" What am I saying that they're missing something?
I don't know. That's what I'm confused about, Rob, because it sounds like a lot of what you said last week, like you're echoing what they're saying. Like I listened, like I even talked about last week on the podcast, like Stevie was saying, like it's an ecoscape of, a weird environment pro wrestling is. And so I was agreeing with him. And then like what you basically laid out was like, you understood why Raja, who was not in the right state of mind, got to the point of where he got to in the ring to do something as heinous as that. And it's not defending him. It's just saying how he got there, how he got from point A to point B. And I completely understood that. But everybody is making it seem like you're defending him or like you're not backing the wrestler. You're not backing Stu. And that's not the case at all. Like,
and that's my point, by the way, with basic thinkers. Somebody tell James, because he obviously doesn't watch the show, or he would know. I talk about basic thinkers.
Oh, Rob, he only watched 8 minutes of the clip.
Yeah, right. That's all I can handle. That's all I can handle. But the point that I wanted to make was I talk about basic thinkers. I know these people. They can only have one thought in their mind at one time, like my dogs. I don't think they can choose to think about something other than what they're thinking about. And when you're in the car with them, and I use this example, James, and they're driving and some car goes zooming by on the road, they'll say, whoa, what the fuck is that guy in such a hurry for? We should box him in. See how he likes that. And what I'm thinking is there's a reason. I wonder why he is in such a hurry. Is he trying to make a good time on a long trip? Is he having a baby? Whatever the fuck. Those people only can think about how things affect them. That's a basic thinker. And the reason that I brought it up, which confused the poor bloke, is I was saying that the basic thinkers that we have on the show, we know that from past experience, the basic thinkers said and think to this day that I hate AEW and then I trash it, or because why? Their imagination, because they go with their interpretation, and that's all there can be is how they're interpreting something, regardless of what the intention is. Could the intention of what was said be different than the way it was interpreted? Yeah. Should that be a factor? I don't know. Apparently not with basic thinkers. They have so much invested. They want me to think that our relationship is so substantial that they're going, that I went from being their number one guy to the devil because of what? Is it something I did say? No, they talked about me saying that to attract people to my podcast. Apparently that was a crime. Well, as I said, I was looking forward to the conversation. I wanted to let people out there that might also be interested in the conversation know that we're doing this thing on the podcast. That is why we do posts. So if that's a crime according to your values and that makes me a horrible person, then at least it's for something that I did actually do. We obviously have different values. My values say that cyberbullying and actually going through the trouble of reaching out to people to try to insult them with the goal of what? Making them feel bad. Like that's your goal, right? How does that work with cyberbullying? Because I got like so many people messaging me. I don't know them, but they want me. They're like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Like, that's like a homeless guy begging for money, calling me a loser. Like, I get you're trying to insult me, but by my values, I see it quite different than you. So what is your goal? Your goal is that you're hoping, like you read about every once in a while, I hear about a kid at school that commits suicide because they were cyberbullied, and I'm always thinking like, they got to know, man, too bad they can't realize that their bubble's going to be so much bigger than it is now, in the chat room or in their school or whatever it is, where everything seems surrounding them. But the bullies would love that. Like that's their goal, right? Like I'm feeling hate. I want to send something insulting so this person feels less about themselves. Like they're too happy. Do you think you're going to get through? Like, do you think I'm going to read your message and I'm going to be like, oh my God, you're right. Never laid 365 is right. I am a horrible person, piece of shit. I got nothing to be proud for. I've done nothing. I suck. What was I thinking? Thank you, never laid 365. No, you're not going to win me over. You have different values. Your values tell you reach out to somebody you don't even know and try to bring them down because their happiness bothers you because you're not as happy. And everybody knows that's the way that bullying works. That's the motivation behind it. And ooh, that's gross. So to my values, that's like one of the lowest, nastiest forms of people. And by the way, did I say we're going to kick people out of the chat room if they
yeah, we're gonna kick people out of the chat room.
Yeah, if you get energized off of saying, oh, I gotta say something about his wife's plastic, yeah, let me put that on there, dude, that'll get him. And I'll get, say something about pot, look, conversation, I invite it. If you're just there to fucking throw insults and it's because what I won't admit that I hate the same way that you hate. Is it because of false interpretation of what I did say? And I will say I could have chose better words, but you know what? It's not even about that anymore for me. This guy on Adolfo on my fucking yeah. And he says, how can you condone that being a wrestler? You're a piece of shit too. You were my idol growing up, and now I got a whole different picture of you. So I'm supposed to think, I talk about people of no substance. I'm supposed to think that I was so substantial to him, like I was his favorite fucking wrestler. He's got some of these things want me to think they got action figures all over the room, and now they're gonna burn them like that crazy guy from Kentucky that fucking Bad Business Bobby got me heat with that burnt my action figures. Anyway, he says, and he says, you're a piece of shit too. And, you know, how could you condone it? I said, I never condoned it. You're fucking stupid for caring about the facts, you know? So, hey, I'll reach back to him, you know, instead of just give him a like. Usually they just get a like. And then now he writes me this big, long fucking thing, you know, and he's like, oh, okay, blah, blah. And he's, and then I say, wait, so you messaged me to bully me, and now you want to talk? Go fuck yourself, Adolfo. and then he comes back and he's like, oh, if it seemed I was coming at you personally, I'm sorry, that was never my intentions. Bro, you came at me and said I was a piece of shit. Like, do they not know that they're bullies? They got themselves convinced they're doing something good.
I think he never expected you to comment back to him, and once you did, he was like, "Oh."
But in general, there's been a lot of these, and I'm addressing a lot of them. You know, if it's over something that's real cool, you know, if it's over something you made up in your head, like you think that I said there's nothing wrong with what this guy did, and I'm condoning it, and whoa, I never said that. Those aren't my feelings. The only way you could come up with that is if you're a basic thinker and you jumped at your first interpretation and said, boom, whoa. RVD just said he's got, you know, he's got this guy's back all the way. I didn't even say that. I said I had it so far.